So these are interesting little tiny red pods. This is a 7-pot Barrackpore crossed with a Tepin, and these are F2. These are from my friend Walt, who grew them in Vegas, and the original cross was made by Charles de Souza, Spicegeist on THP. And so far none of the pods have had any seeds in, so let's cut a couple of these open and see if there are any seeds in these. I guess we try the biggest ones first. They're pretty interesting looking pods. They kind of look like Barrackpore, but they're extremely tiny. I have a plant outside too that Walt gave me, so hopefully I'll have some pods as well a bit later on. Okay, let's hack them open. So we have no seeds in that one. Where are we? There we go. So there's no seeds in this one. It's an interesting smell. It does smell like a Barrackpore, but with a definitely with an annuum-y sort of background. How about this one? This one also has no seeds. So we might have a few problems growing this one out for another generation. Let's see a little bit later in the summer if any of the pods have seeds. But it's a very interesting smell. It does smell like a 7-pot, but with a definite backbone of an annuum, general annuum-y kind of smell. So let's switch the camera around and I'll scoff a few down. Hi, Nigel Carter, back in the kitchen. It's 2014 and there are more pods to be had, which is good for me. You saw in the little introduction there that what we have here is a cross between a 7-pot Barrackpore, which is a honking great mega hot pod from Trinidad, and a wild annuum, a Tepin. So you saw, I think, how small these things are. Just to put it in perspective again. These are the pods. There are no seeds. Very little placenta as well, actually. Tiny bit, but very little. They smell very fruity. Definitely smell like a 7-pot with a little bit of Tepin, a little bit of annuum anyway in the background. They smell really nice. So let's see what they taste like. Cheers. Tastes like a 7-pot. Oh, it's quite hot. It's not sweet at all. Peppery, black-peppery, in the way that it's very prickly burn. It's a very Tepin-like burn up front. On the front of the tongue, you get that very prickly, aggressive burn with the Tepin. Wow! But it does taste like a 7-pot, mildly. And now it's gone to the back of my throat like a 7-pot would. That's very interesting. So it starts off all prickling your tongue and sort of black peppery kind of burn like a Tepin would, and then it all shifts and sits on the back of your throat. The back of my throat's quite sore right now. It's very surprising. The taste is good. It gets a little sweeter the more you chew it. Again, it must be sugars in the skins. It tastes more like a 7-pot than it does like a Tepin, but there's definitely an annuum-y sort of backbone to the flavour that's present all the time. And that's quite warm. It's warmer than a Tepin. It's not as hot as a habanero. but it's much more localized, very much in the back of my throat. And now it's moving a little bit to the back of my tongue as well. That's very interesting. I wasn't sure what to expect, and given the size and shape, I thought they were going to be a bit of a letdown, in all honesty. But it's an extremely cool cross, and the flavours and the way the heat works, you know, very much a cross between an annuum, a reasonably hot annuum, and a very, very hot 7-pot. That's very nice. Yeah, it's back of the tongue now, and it's still burning away. That's very pleasant. It's a lovely heat level. Just you could eat, you know, a whole ton of these in some food, or a sandwich, or some tacos, or like I'm doing, just sat in the kitchen. I think I might have another one anyway. Cheers. Fruity in a not really sweet way, but there's a cherry-like element to the way it tastes. Cherry and red pepper, bell pepper. But take away the sweetness. That's good. Very nice. There's a very slight nutty undercurrent, and not especially oily. But they're a lot hotter than I expected. Probably a little one of those tiny ones, probably about a third as hot as a habanero. Probably twice as hot as a Tepin, I would say. Maybe a little bit more than twice as hot. 3 times as hot, perhaps. It's making me sweat a little bit. My nose is starting to run a bit, and that sort of nutty flavour's gone. But there's a very tiny hint of a gingery flavour at the end, which is very interesting. Yeah, that's really nice. Much hotter than I expected. Really, really nice cross, and you get a lot of the good aspects from both of the partners in that cross. So it's a real shame there aren't any seeds. So maybe later in the summer we'll get some slightly bigger pods and they'll make a few seeds. Certainly hope so. So I'll leave you to it, but I've got to eat the rest of those in a minute because they're that good. So this is Nigel Carter saying thanks a lot for watching, and I'll be back with some more pods soon. Cheers.